Hello everyone, I'm Darth Loquitur. Welcome to the channel. This is my 2021 Beginner's Guide to the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes mobile game. It's a complex game, so whether you are a new player just starting for the first time, an experienced player coming back to restart the game as an alternate account, or maybe a guild leader who would like a good video to show newer players what they need to do, this video is designed to give you the best teams and the best way to start strong and build an account to win. We're going to divide this up into a 4-part video series. We're in part 1 right now. We're going to talk about how the game looks when you first get started, how to use all the different shops in the game, and the first few character teams that you're going to build to get yourself going. In the second part, we're going to talk about Zeta materials, the importance of dominating the fleet arena in early game, and why the ship game mode is very important. We're going to talk about mods, and we're going to talk about guilds. In the third video, we're going to take this plan, detail it out step by step. We're going to talk more about how to spend your crystals in the game, cash if you're willing to spend cash, and what the hyperdrive bundle means to your account. We're going to talk about priorities so that now that you know the characters, teams, and fleets, we'll lay it out step by step for all of the energy use and all of the shops in a way that can help you be the most efficient in the game. We're going to set the overall priorities so that you always know what's the most important thing that you're working on. And then we're going to talk about the 4 paths that you can take from there on how to build your account going into the future. This first guide is meant to take you through the first 30 to 45 days of gameplay. After that, you'll need a more advanced plan, and we're going to provide those to you too in future videos. I'll also lay out some reasonable expectations for the timelines for leveling, so that you'll know whether you're on track or not with your account. The 4th video, we'll gather up all the comments, so leave a comment down below if you see anything in this video that raises a question or you don't feel is clear, and we'll follow up with a 4th video that answers all of those questions, brings together any information to make sure that we keep this series fresh with changes that may come to the game later. And let's not forget, this is a game and the intention is to have fun. So let's have fun while we're doing this. The early levels go very quickly. Don't let your energy build up. The game will periodically give you free energy as long as your energy isn't full. Once it reaches the maximum amount, you will stop receiving the free energy. So you don't want to let it build up. You always want to get into the game and use it up. Before you go to bed at night, for example, make sure you use your energy as low as you can and let it build up overnight. Then check it again in the morning and use up a little bit more. As long as you do it in this way, you won't ever max out your energy and you'll continue to get free energy. That drives your ability to get characters, to get gear, and to get ahead in the game. Do not let your energy max out if at all possible. We're going to farm a lot of hard nodes early in the game. We're going to focus on all the different characters that we need for our teams. And once we farm those for the day, we can do 5 runs without refreshing the nodes. And when we're done with that, you'll use the rest of the energy that you get for gear. The easiest way to look for gear is to go into the character screen, find a character that you're actively trying to level up. You can select the gear that they need. You can use the magnifying glass to search for that gear, and then you can figure out where you need to farm it and farm that gear for the character. If you ever find yourself with extra energy and you don't know exactly where to put it, go to light side 1E or 1F. They have very simple, basic gray gear on those nodes in high quantities. If you don't use it early game, you will be able to use it later in the game for working on relics. So it's not going to be wasted energy. Also in the early game, watch your experience. You can actually see how close you are to the next level. And when you're very close, it might be a good time for an energy refresh. You refresh the energy. As you're running those runs, you get a little bit of experience from each run that you do. That will get you your next level, which will give you more free energy, and you can push yourself quite a ways up into the next level, and then do it again. Once you get your daily quests for the next day, you'll be able to potentially find yourself in the same position. Accelerating your account in this way will get you a few levels ahead of other people who started at the same time. Pay attention to your reset time. In the settings, you can select your reset time. you'll want to set that to suit your needs. Early in the game, it's most important to set your reset time based on the free energy that the game gives you. It gives you free energy at 12 hours, you'll get mod, cantina, and regular energy. At 18 hours, you'll get regular energy and fleet energy. And at 21 hours, you'll get one last free instance of regular energy. Each one of those is 45 energy. It really adds up to a lot throughout the course of the day. You want to make sure that you can always grab those freebies. For example, if you set your reset time at 6 o'clock p.m., your free energy will come in at 6 o'clock a.m. the next morning, at noon, and at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and then your reset time will again be at 6 p.m. Squad Arena payouts occur 12 hours after your reset. Fleet, 13 hours. So again, with the 6 p.m. reset time, your Squad Arena payout would be at noon, and your fleet payout would be at 1 o'clock. The shops reset every 6 hours based on your reset time. So again, with the 6 p.m. time, the shops would reset at 6, midnight, 6 a.m., and noon. And you can visit those shops up to 4 times a day to have refreshed inventory. The fleet store is a little bit different. The fleet store resets 3 times a day when you get free energy, so at 12, 18, and 21 hours. Later, after you've played the game for a while, your Squad Arena and Fleet Arena payouts may be the most important reason to reset your account time. But early in the game, especially until you get to 85, really the reset time needs to focus on the best time for you to always get your free energy. Also, I just want to say, starting out, you will never have enough credits. If you ever find yourself with a whole bunch of extra credits, you'll level up characters and apply gear or work on mods, and those credits will go away very quickly and you'll again be out of credits. Don't worry about it. Everybody else is in the same position as you are. Everybody's short on credits. It's okay. Just understand it's a limiting factor in the game. Use your credits wisely and don't waste them. We do want to get 5-dot mods on our characters. Early in the game, we may have to apply some kind of mods, but just be careful not to spend too many credits on mods that are not 5-dot. Level up your characters as needed for gear tiers. That's another tip that I have for saving credits, keeping them in the bank. If you're leveling up a character, let's say your account is at level 71, so you could potentially put a character at level 71. Instead, put the character at the gear tier that they've achieved. Maybe they're waiting on level 64 to apply the gear. Once you have all the gear for that character, then you put it at level 64, upgrade to the next gear tier. Maybe the next gear tier after that would be level 73. You can leave that character at level 64 until you have all of the gear, and then by then you'll be level 73. You can level the character up and apply the next gear tier. By leaving the characters at a little lower level, that will save you a lot of credits. It takes about 1 million credits to get the first 60 levels. It takes 5.6 million more credits to get them to level 85. So the higher levels do take a lot of credits, and it's a way that you can save back money just to wait until you actually need those levels. Promoting characters from 5 stars to 6 stars, 6 stars to 7 stars, that's very important, and you do want to save up your credits and get those promotions over leveling. The daily quests give far more experience than farming runs using energy, so please understand how the daily quests work. Always go in, make sure you complete all of your daily quests if you want to level up the account as quickly as possible. Sim tickets are a kind of currency in the game where if you have a node and you've achieved 3 stars, you can run it instantly without having to play through it. Before level 60, you will not have enough sim tickets to consistently do what you want to do in the game. After level 60, one of your daily quests is going to give you a lot of sim tickets, and after that, it won't be a problem anymore. But early in the game, you will have to do a lot of these runs either manually, or if you have a team that's good enough, you can put it in auto and let the AI beat the node for you. So Just understand, if you're below level 60 and you're kind of annoyed by the fact that you have to do all these runs, don't waste your credits, don't waste your crystals on sim tickets in the shops. Just be patient, wait after level 60. You won't have any problem with the sim tickets anymore. Shops. It's very important when you start out the game, there's a series of shops that's going to open, and how you use your currency in those shops determines a lot about your early game efficiency. So I'm going to teach you all about the shops all the way through level 85, even though some of them might not be obvious or relevant right away. We're going to want to know what they are so that as they open up, there won't be any surprises and you're going to know what to do with these shops. The first one, when you open the Shipments tab, on the far left, there's a credit symbol on that tab. In that tab, the first 4 slots always have gear that you can buy just for credits in the game. This is an incredible value. All of the pieces that you buy there can either be used on characters or used later in the game to make relic materials. So if you buy these 4 every single time the shop refreshes, it will never be poorly spent credits. It's the most high value credits that you can spend in the game. Every time the shop refreshes, grab all 4 of these. In the weekly shipments, next is a crystal symbol. Early game, don't waste your crystals in the shop. Save them back for other things like energy refreshes. When you fight battles in the Cantina, you will also be receiving Cantina Battle Store currency. We're going to use that to pick up quite a few key characters in the game. And early game, this is a valuable resource, and it's a way to develop your account and get stars on your characters quite quickly. The next tab over from that is called the Guild Store. It looks like a stack of 4 coins. In the Guild Store, you need to save your currency early on in the game for 4 pieces of rare gear that you can only get from raids. So these types of gear are not available to farm in the game. They are available in the Guild Store at a good exchange rate. So for Mark 5 droid collars, Mark 5 furnaces, Mark 6 Nubian discs, and Mark 6 scanners, those will be the type of gear that you're going to look for out of the Guild Store early game. And again, later, as you get to know more about the game and you understand how to use the currency, there are other things in the Guild Store that can be of good value. But early in the game, before you really know exactly what's going on, really focus on spending this currency only on those 4 pieces of gear. In the Squad Arena store, that currency is received for your placement in Squad Arena at your daily payout. There are characters in this shop that we're going to want. And eventually there's also a material in here called Prestige that's used to build capital ships. So at some point you'll need to buy that as well. But in the early game, we're really just going to focus on characters. The Galactic War is a game mode where you fight a series of battles. And if you get all the way through to the end, you can get up to 1,200 Galactic War store currency per day. This shop sells ships and characters for 400 each, so you can get up to 3 purchases per day out of the store. And again, this is going to be a very valuable source for characters, but also in the early game, it's going to be an extremely valuable place for us to get ships. In the mod store, you can buy predetermined mods. You can see what they look like, see what their stats are, and if they're good, you can buy them out of this store. Early game, my recommendation is do not use this store at all. Later in the game, when you have extra credits, this is an excellent shop to find good mods, but early game, it's just not efficient to spend that much. In the Guild event store, I'm just going to say do not spend this currency on anything except these 2 capital ships, the Malevolence and the Negotiator, or potentially another capital ship if they put another one in here in the future. And for the Guild Event 1 currency, there's key characters that come out of the shop: Hermit Yoda, Wampa, General Skywalker, and Darth Malak. Those are the characters that you will want to buy. Don't waste this currency on gear early in the game, even though it seems like a good value and is tempting to try to get the gear for your characters. Trust me when I tell you, this currency must be saved for these ships or these rare characters. It's the only place in the game that you can get these shards, and you do not want to waste this currency on gear because that gear could be gotten out of the game for farming or in other shops. The championship store will only open up for you at level 85 once you have access to the Grand Arena game mode. There's quite a bit of good stuff that you can buy out of this shop. So good placement in the Grand Arena will help you get more gear from this shop when it shows up. One of my favorite shops is the Shard Shop. This opens up when you get a character to 7 stars, and then you get additional shards for that character that's already maxed out. There's a conversion rate. You get 15 Shard Shop currency per character shard and 38 Shard Shop currency per ship shard. That currency can be spent on a whole bunch of different premium gear or materials that we use for relics. The shard store is very important early game because once you buy out a character in the cantina, for example, you can continue to purchase that same character and use those additional shards and convert them to Shard Shop currency and use them to buy gear. This is a very important resource for you to be able to accelerate your character development in the early game. The last shop is the Conquest store. This has currency from the Conquest game mode, and you'll be able to buy gear, characters, and also materials that help you with the Conquest game mode from this shop. With that said, now that we know how to use the shops, let's dive right into the teams that we're going to build. The first team is the Phoenix. In a prior video, I had recommended against building the Phoenix early game, and in the account that I've been building recently, I did not do this. It is true, however, Phoenix are good in the early game. They fall off quite quickly, and they're not ever good again. In going through my alt account and reflecting back on what that means, if the Phoenix are good early game, then that's the best time to build them while they're actually useful. So we are going to recommend that this be the first Rebel team that you build. It's going to be Hera Syndulla, Ezra Bridger, Chopper, Kanan, and Zeb. And you can see that these characters come out of a variety of different locations. Hera and Ezra come out of the Cantina. Chopper is purchased from the Cantina store. Kanan is purchased from the Squad Arena store. And Zeb from Galactic War. Because these characters come from different areas, it makes it very easy to acquire them and get them all the way up to 7 stars very early in the game. It's a strong early game team for the Arena, Squad Arena game mode, as well as Galactic War, because the characters do have abilities that get them back health and protection, so they can fight through all the battles in the Galactic War all the way to the end. Cantina refreshes are very strong in the early game. We'll talk about that more in a later video. But suffice to say, if you can save up 100 crystals for Cantina refresh, it will allow you to get Ezra and Hera stronger. And the stronger you can get them early game is going to put you ahead of other people in the Squad Arena for a better placement, more currency. It's a snowball effect that once you start getting ahead, you stay ahead and continue to get more than the other players. So a few well-placed Cantina refreshes very early in the game really will accelerate your account. For the Phoenix, we only want to build them to Gear 8 or Gear 9, and then we're going to stop. At Gear 8 or 9, you will be able to complete the Journey Guide event for Grand Admiral Thrawn, and once you have Thrawn at 7 stars, we're going to discontinue working on the Phoenix. If you have issues completing that, you can build Ezra a bit further. He's a Jedi. He can go in some other Jedi teams. So if you do have to build up one character a little better to get that event done, Ezra Bridger would be my vote for the character to invest more resources in. The Omegas that you want on these characters, the unique skill on Chopper, Kanan, and Ezra's basic attack are good investments. There may be some other Omegas that you'll want to invest in depending on how experienced of a player you are or how you intend to use your Phoenix. But those are the three that you can invest in safely and wisely in the early game. Do not put any Zetas on these characters. The second team we're going to talk about is a Separatist team led by Newt Gunray with 3 Geos and Count Dooku. The team starts out this way because these are the characters that you can most easily get access to in the early game. Newt Gunray comes out of the Squad Arena store. He will be replaced at level 83 by the Geo Brute Alpha, but we don't want to wait till level 83 to have a functional team, so we do want Newt Gunray starting out as the leader. We also have the Geo Soldier from the very first Cantina node that you can farm. The Geo Spy comes up on Cantina 4D. Poggle comes out of the Galactic War store. And then Count Dooku can be farmed from the Cantina and Darkside Hard Node 1C, and he will be replaced at level 60 when you get access to fleets and the Fleet Arena store. You'll be able to purchase Sunfac. So the eventual team is the one at the bottom with the Geo Brute Alpha and all 5 Geos in that team. Much like the Phoenix are good in the early game, this Geo team is an excellent early game team. You can build it up to the point where the Geo Brute Alpha may be relic level and the other Geos at gear 12. There is a territory battle mission for Wat Tambor shards in the game, and having a good Geo team will help you get into a stronger guild, especially if your Geos are able to get that Wat Tambor shard. That's something to keep in mind as you're building your account. The third team we're going to talk about are the Jedi. The Jedi tag is used very frequently in the game for different events and game modes, so we definitely want a team with the Jedi tag. Bastila Shan is the best early game leader for your Jedi. She comes off of a hard node and also a fleet hard node. Jedi Knight Anakin comes from hard nodes in the Cantina. Ahsoka Tano comes out of the Cantina store. And together with Kanan and Ezra from the Phoenix team, once we get these Jedi to 7-star, we can unlock a 7-star Grand Master Yoda. It's only a 4-man team, but you'll be able to put in Ezra Bridger whenever you need a 5th Jedi. The fourth team that we're going to talk about is the Empire team. Emperor Palpatine comes from the Journey Guide. He can be unlocked with the Phoenix. Thrawn comes from the Journey Guide, also can be unlocked with the Phoenix. Darth Vader comes from quests and the fleet stores, and when you go into the objectives tab, there are certain quests that you can complete as you're leveling up. You'll want to pay attention to those and complete those so you can continue to get more Darth Vader shards as you're going through and leveling up. Moff Gideon comes off of hard nodes plus the Cantina node. And Grand Moff Tarkin, you will get shards for him out of the fleet quests, and you can also use the Squad Arena store to finish him out to 7 stars. We're also going to build Boba Fett as kind of a standalone character out of the Cantina store. We also need to unlock at least 3 other scoundrels. We don't need to put much develop in them. They can be gear 1, level 1, just unlocked so that we have them, because we will need 5 scoundrels in total. Out of the list of scoundrels that we can pick from, some useful characters that you might build someday: Stormtrooper Han from the Cantina store, Dengar from the Guild store, Clone Wars Chewbacca has Cantina and also comes from Bronzium packs, Mission comes from Cantina, and Zalbar comes from hard nodes and a fleet hard node. These are scoundrel characters that will be useful at some point in your account development, so if you unlock them early, it won't be a waste of your resources. Later on, you'll be building these characters for something. The purpose of building these scoundrels is an event called Credit Heist. We're going to take Newt Gunray from our Separatist team. We're going to take that Boba Fett that we're building kind of as a standalone character. We're going to take those 3 scoundrels that we unlocked and put them together in a 5-man team to do this credit heist. We want to achieve at least tier 2 as soon as we can. and Newt and Boba should be able to get you tier 2 very early in the game and get you a lot of extra credits out of that. So with that in mind, I do want to say that we've put together these teams not just for 4 teams that we think are good early game, but I've worked together with the members of my Dark Council over on Discord. We've discussed it at length, and these 4 teams are set up to give us the best synergy for the early game. There's healers in these teams and support characters that are going to be able to also get you the agility challenge materials. There's tanks for the tactical challenges. There's attackers that will help you get the strength challenge. And in the Omega battles, we're going to have tags for Sith, Jedi, Rebels, Scoundrel, and Empire to get those Omega battles done. The Phoenix team is going to give you an easy Galactic War. And once you get that Geo Brute Alpha at level 83, then Galactic War becomes pretty much automatic. The Geos are excellent at that game mode. This also helps us complete several journey events, and we didn't talk about R2-D2, but since we will have an Empire team, we could also unlock R2-D2 as part of the early journey guide unlocks. So there's a lot of very good synergy with these teams that we've recommended. Account building suggestions. I do recommend that you select all of these characters and you use the bookmark icon that you can find on the character page for all of the characters to separate the ones that you're working on from the rest of the characters in the game. You will also want to use the squad tab down below. Set up your 4 teams in their respective squads. That'll make it easier for you to select these teams in the various game modes. Characters that aren't part of a team can be left at level 1, Gear 1, no skills. Everything that you put into the game increases your galactic power. If you build a bunch of ships and characters that you're not going to use, and you build them up to medium levels and put some stars on them, all of that galactic power isn't helping you in the game, and there are game modes where higher galactic power hurts you. So early in the game, don't waste your galactic power. Don't try to get more galactic power by building up a whole bunch of characters that you don't need. When we talk about projects in the game, we will typically refer to teams by their tags, such as Sith, Jedi, Rebels, Scoundrels, or other relevant tags. However, there are some good standalone characters who, if you build them, they can go into many different teams and still be very functional and useful. Kylo Ren Unmasked is an example. He is an excellent early game tank. He can be put in almost any team. Moff Gideon can be used for his demoralize ability in a variety of different teams. Grand Admiral Thrawn has fracture ability that can be useful for many different situations. And Grandmaster Yoda just has a good all-around kit and can fit in many different teams as a plug-and-play character. That concludes the first holocron for the Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes 2021 Beginner's Guide. I hope you've all learned a bunch about how the early game works, how the shops are going to work for you, what character teams to focus early on. Remember to hit that like saber on your way out. It helps me, it helps the channel, and I would appreciate it. Join us over on the Discord if you haven't done that already, and I'll see you in the second holocron.